Rob Pelinka discusses the Lakers offseason plan. JJ Redick, did he just take a shot at Luka Doncic? Also, Jalen Brunson sends the Pistons to Cancun. We're talking all that more coming up next on The Big Lead. What is up and welcome to The Big Lead. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. If you're new to The Big Lead, it's the hottest stories in sports, the NBA, the NFL, baseball, college basketball, college football. If they're talking about it in the world of sports, we're talking about it right here on The Big Lead. We also talk a lot of Lakers. This is an LA-based show, so you'll hear a lot about the purple and gold. And even though the Lakers got bounced, you can still represent your purple and gold this offseason with a Luka Doncic Lakers jersey. Once we hit 2,000 subscribers, we are giving one away. All you have to do to be eligible to win is comment Luka Magic down below in the comments section. And if you do that, have those notification buttons on, you will be eligible to win. But let's get right into it because we're still in the aftermath phase of the Lakers 2024-2025 season. And we're going to start actually, you know what? Let's back up. Breaking news here. Breaking news into the Big Lead Studios. And that is that Greg Popovich, one of the greatest coaches in the history of sports, not just the NBA, he is stepping down as the Spurs coach, but will remain with the franchise as team president. So this news comes after he missed most of the 2024-2025 season after he suffered a stroke in November. He's one of the best coaches in history, 29 seasons with the San Antonio Spurs. And that's a lot of games, man. 1,422 regular season games. He's a 5-time NBA champion, a 6-time NBA finalist. By the way, you got to like that, man. I mean, 5 times he went there. Only lost once. Only Phil Jackson and Pat Riley have won more playoff games, and only Jackson and Red Auerbach have won more championships in NBA history. The Spurs are hiring Mitch Johnson, who filled in as the team's interim head coach for 77 games this season, as their full-time head coach to replace Popovich. So just a little rewind. He had been dealing with some health issues for a little bit of time. And on November 2nd, this past year in 2024, he took a leave of absence. It was later revealed that he had suffered a mild stroke, and he ultimately did not return to the bench. So my first take on this is you would have liked to see him go out a little more on his terms, to coach a team where he's close to 100%, he's fully healthy, and he kind of gets to go out his way. But unfortunately, hey, when you're in the game this long and you have that much stability, at some point health is going to take its toll. And Greg Popovich did release a statement this morning that read, "While my love and passion for the game remains, I've decided it's time to step away as head coach. I am forever grateful to the wonderful players, coaches, staff, and fans who allowed me to serve them as the Spurs head coach. And I'm excited for the opportunity to continue to support the organization, community, and city that are so meaningful to me." So, yeah, we're talking about a Hall of Fame head coach, a guy that played for the Air Force. He was in active duty for 5 years. And, yeah, I mean, this is a guy that he's probably one of the most universally beloved head coaches in sports, really. I mean, who doesn't love Coach Pop? Players, not even just his players on the USA team. And, yeah, this does feel like, I mean, he is almost the modern day Red Auerbach as far as longevity, as far as championship goes. He's an all-time great head coach, a guy that didn't win in a major market, right? He didn't win in LA or Boston or New York. He won his championships in San Antonio, as small of a market as you're going to find in professional sports. And yeah, I'll never forget just being a Laker fan growing up. My favorite Popovich moment was when he jokingly did the hack-a-shack to Shaquille O'Neal, but it wasn't late in the fourth quarter. It was right when the game started, and they pan over to Greg Popovich, and he's sitting there and he's laughing. If you haven't seen that, go watch that on YouTube. So yeah, really great to see his career. Kind of a sad day for basketball in my eyes. I mean, this is officially feels like the end of an era. But the good thing about the San Antonio Spurs is they do have their organization intact. You have a head coach in waiting. You have a future franchise player face the league in Victor Wembanyama. He has been dealing with the health issues himself, but hopefully he's back to 100%. There is some talk that they might be in on the Giannis sweepstakes. Believe it or not, the Giannis sweepstakes this offseason, they're not fully underway because we don't know exactly where he's at as far as requesting a trade, as far as what they think they're going to do. But the San Antonio Spurs, they have a deep war chest of picks. They have 36 future picks in the next 7 years. They also have the cleanest salary sheet in the NBA. After making that De'Aaron Fox trade, you're still in a good spot. So can you imagine having another Twin Towers situation down in San Antonio with Giannis and Victor Wembanyama? Coach Pop, enjoy your coaching retirement. I do love the fact that he's still going to be in the game in some capacity. But okay, let's switch to the association on the West Coast and talk about JJ Redick. Want to say something before we get into this sound. The JJ Redick honeymoon is over. Not saying he's not going to be a great head coach. Not saying he can't win a championship in LA. Not saying that his year one with the Lakers wasn't a success because he inherited a team that had a flawed roster, and then you make a big trade for Luka Doncic, and you still are able to win 50 games, finish top 3 in the Western Conference. But the truth of the matter is with JJ Redick is you can't call him a successful head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers until he wins an NBA title. You just can't do it. And I think that you look at JJ Redick in the series he had against the Minnesota Timberwolves, he looked like a rookie head coach that wasn't handling the pressure of the job that well. I look at the fact that you decided not to scrimmage leading up to game one. Then you start game one, and it felt like it was a preseason game in Hawaii instead of a playoff game. You weren't there as a group, and you lose game one, and then the series snowballed after that. And then the death knell was in game 4, playing one lineup for the first time in NBA history, the play-by-play era, for all 24 minutes. And then, look, it's one thing to go with that strategy. We get you don't have Jackson Hayes on the floor. You don't trust your big man. We understand that. But after the game, to say that it wasn't because Luka Doncic wasn't fatigued, that it wasn't because LeBron James was fatigued, and it was just because they're missing layups. He basically said his star players just missed some layups. You threw your stars under the bus. You made a terrible decision. There's a reason why no NBA coach had ever done that before, because it's a stupid strategy, quite frankly. And think about who you're employing that strategy for. A 40-year-old LeBron James who's played over 70,000 minutes is having to take on an advanced rebounding role, a defensive role, and Luka Doncic, a superstar that's not known for his stamina. It's one of the dumbest things we've ever seen a coach do in the modern era. Like literally one of the dumbest things we've seen a coach try to do. And they were awful down the stretch. They completely ran out of gas. And then you jump to before game 5. Before game 5, and you're meeting with reporters, and usually I can just say this from going to some of these press conferences, the pre-game press conference, whether it be baseball, basketball, like that's the friendly one. Because you're not talking about the result, good or bad, right? That's the friendly one, right? You're not having to say, oh, you lost. Why'd you lose, right? It's, no, let's talk about adjustments, talk about things that could be a little different, just kind of the mindset heading into some of these games. And he got a question. And this dude, the way he reacted to a fair question really rubs me the wrong way. Here, take a listen at this. JJ Redick getting a question before game 5.
As you watch the film, What do you recall about your thought process in the moment, sticking with the five you stuck with in the fourth quarter the other day? And is there an assistant or someone maybe that you'll lean on tonight, maybe to try to get some other guys involved if that opportunity presents itself?
Are you saying that because I'm inexperienced and that was an inexperienced decision that I made? Do you think I don't talk to my assistants about substitutions every single timeout?
No, I just think there's a lot of coaches lean on their assistants in those situations.
As do I, every
on.
single time. That's a weird assumption.
Thank you, Coach.
My favorite thing about that is the reporter, after JJ storms off, says, "Thank you, Coach," and is kind of smiling live. I know that guy. It's a really good reporter who has really good questions. And for JJ Redick to just make him feel small, make him feel stupid, go on the defensive, it shows you that, hey, you're in Los Angeles now. This is as big of a market when it comes to basketball as it gets because of the franchise that you're coaching. Breaking news going from Noel Sanchez. There you go. Appreciate that news. That's from Noel Sanchez. And look, someone pointed out too, which is really weird, when LeBron was rolling on the floor, like none of his teammates were coming to support him. It was actually really strange to see like Gabe Vincent act like he wasn't even there. That was really weird. LeBron and look, that's the thing. I mean, if you're going to have your guys out there, as long as JJ Redick has him out there, it's no surprise they're going to suffer injuries. That was definitely a bang play, DiVincenzo, and kind of that situation. So look, I mean, it just kind of tells you once again, LeBron, he's a dude that is on the older side of his career, in his 40s, 70,000 minutes. I mean, that's kind of stuff is going to happen, but I don't think that's going to have very much impact on his future. He's going to be ready to go for the regular season, everything that goes on with the offseason. But yeah, that's really interesting. But let's talk more about JJ. We're gonna get to LeBron too, because there's some thoughts on LeBron James and his future as well. But here was Brian Windhorst talking about JJ Redick.
Brian, where are you on this? I know this morning on Get Up you were critical and said he was immature at times in his approach. Let's elaborate. What did you mean?
Yeah, I don't like saying it because we all have a personal relationship with JJ, and I have such an immense respect for him, and I think he's done a really good job this year. When you are a first-year head coach, you make mistakes, and I don't know whether JJ would say that today or he's going to say that in 5 years. By the way, go to any coach who's had success and you ask them about their first year, they're probably going to close their eyes and go, man, I wish I wouldn't have done that. And I suspect that JJ is going to say that about the way he operated in this series. I think at times JJ seethes. I think he's really smart. I think he's been great for the Lakers, but I think sometimes he seethes, and that puts him in a bad position. And I think he was seething the last few days. I think he made a mistake with how he played those older guys on short rest that many minutes in Game 4. He, instead of recognizing it, he just doubled down, was almost defiant about it in between Games 4 and 5. And he was still seething coming into the game last night, as he demonstrated in the pregame press conference. I wasn't in the locker room. I don't know how he related to the team, but the Lakers were not ready to play to start that game. They did not come out like a team desperate. And regardless of what you think about the question, whether you think the question he got where he stomped out of the press conference was fair or not, that doesn't matter. A coach handles their business and handles the situation. I think JJ would agree that he needed to handle that better. And I just don't think he was as good as he can be, and I expect in the future that he will be much better. And you always know that. You know that when you hire a coach who's young and never done it before, that you're going to go through this, and the Lakers did. And I think JJ will eventually be even better than he was this year.
So I think that's a fair assessment. I mean, you got to learn. He's got to learn. Here's the thing about JJ Redick. I'm not hating on JJ Redick. I still think he has the potential to be a top coach in the NBA, but he is going to wear himself out if he's going through emotions like this in the first series of his playoff career. And the bottom line is, we know the measuring stick for coaches in Los Angeles, it's championship or bust. And in JJ Redick's eyes, he needs to see his players in championship shape. We got that one? Let's try to play that one. Let's try to find that one. Here we go.
The work that's required
in an off season to be in championship shape. And, you know, we have a ways to go as a roster. And certainly there are individuals that were in phenomenal shape. There's certainly other ones that could have been in better shape. That's where my mind goes immediately is you know, we have to get in championship shape.
So basically, yeah, I can't really use names, but Luka D is fat. That's basically what he's trying to say there, right? I mean, that's what he was trying to say there. He was trying to say his best player is out of shape. He's trying to say, put down the beers, put down the hookahs, take your offseason seriously. And I hate that. I really, really do. That is your superstar that you just threw out there. Because when people read this quote, when people listen to that soundbite, they think of one player, and that is Luka Doncic and the reputation that he has of not being in the best shape as an NBA superstar. So that's exactly what he just did. Now, whether that was a calculated move by him to hopefully get the best out of him and to motivate him this offseason, then fine. But I think there's a better way to go about that when it's your superstar player that still has not signed an extension with you. Mind you that. And I do think that Luka Doncic is going to get in better shape. I've talked about the revenge bod Luka, trying to stick it to Nico Harrison, that Mavs organization, and to his critics. But, I mean, this is another example of, hey, JJ Redick, who, like I said, I think he overachieved in the regular season as a rookie head coach that has never done this before. But this guy, he's got skin that's thinner than single-ply toilet paper, and he does not take responsibility for losses. I can't think of one time this season where he's taken responsibility for a loss. All the criticism for AR and Austin Reeves stepped up and owned it and said, hey, I need to take responsibility and be better. Luka Doncic said he needed to be better. A lot of guys took this blame. But JJ Redick, when is he going to take responsibility for any of these bad losses, these bad moments for this team? All he's got to be like is, hey, this is my first year. I want to learn from my mistakes. I can always be better. The buck stops at the coach. And I think this is just a bad look for a head coach that should be really celebrated right now. But I think he kind of crashed out there at the end. Even LeBron James said, hey, JJ, we know he's going to spaz out every now and then. When in game 2, he went out there and grabbed the board saying, Jesus effing Christ, and, play some defense and kind of get in this guy's face. He's got to take responsibility at least once. So, I really, I would not have said that if I'm trying to get Luka Doncic to sign a contract to stay here. And is he out of shape? Could he be in better shape? Yes, I do think that for sure. But that's the face of your franchise for the next 8 to 10 years. So, I think it's a bad look for JJ Redick. Okay, let's talk more about the LeBron sound here.
LeBron, JJ said he hasn't done it a lot this season, maybe about 5 times or so, but Minnesota cut it to 11. He called that timeout, and he was very upset. He said he wanted you all to tap into your sense of urgency. How much was that needed in that moment, and what did you think of the response?
I thought we responded, well, just from the timeout. We know JJ is going to spaz out from time to time. That's JJ, and so it's at this point for us is obviously we need to listen to the message and not the way how he's delivering it, and for me as my high school coach my freshman year was kind of the same way. He would spaz out on us, and you have to be able to understand about it's not how he's saying it, it's about what he's saying, and I thought we responded after that.
So that kind of tells you how they feel about JJ. But hey, like I said, he has to work on things as well too. It was not a good look how it ended with JJ Redick. Honeymoon phase is over. Now talk about Rob Pelinka, who talked to the media yesterday, and Rob Pelinka, he basically said that this team, after trading for Luka Doncic, was not in the best position to go out there and put a roster around him, right? I mean, you tried to trade for Mark Williams. You didn't like what you saw when you looked under the hood. You didn't green light that trade. And then you're basically going to war with butter knives because you don't have a center. You don't have a center that can play that position. We saw Rudy Gobert turn to Will Chamberlain having a 27-24 game in elimination game. So they realized that. Rob Pelinka said it's like trying to put together a plane when that plane is already in the air. And now they're going to have that plane in the hangar, and they're going to be able to put that plane together. And then Rob said about their offseason, he said, I think it's important to recognize this team was able to finish third in an incredibly tough Western Conference, and you make a seismic trade at the deadline. Your roster and the building around it, it takes its toll. It's kind of like trying to build an airplane in the sky, and now we get a chance to sort of land that plane, put in the hangar, and really figure out the parts, and we need to retrofit and change things and what we'll do, and we're going to learn a lot of things about this team. And he talked about how this team needs a center. He said that the good news, and clearly we'll be very diligent, we'll be very detailed, we'll work hard. You got the NBA Combine coming up here in a couple of weeks in Chicago when a lot of executives get together to start talking about offseason planning and roster construction. The one thing we know about the NBA is there's always new and unexpected opportunities around the corner. That's just the nature of the business. And my focus is going to be on that and making sure that next year we have the requisite size to compete for a championship. So we talked about it yesterday. Guys they could add. Wendell Carter Jr., Jared Allen. Do you try to get Jaren Jackson? I mean, do you try to go out there and add a Walker Kessler? I mean, there's names out there that could be had. You're going to have to include pick swaps, the 2031 first-round pick, Austin Reeves, Dalton Knecht potentially, but this team needs a big, and that is the only way that they can compete. He talked about the traits that he's looking for in a center to add. He said, I think in terms of center traits, it would be great to have a center that was a vertical threat, a lob threat, and someone that could protect the interior defensively. I think those would be keys, but there's multiple different types of centers that can be very effective in the league. There's also spread centers that can protect the rim. We'll look at those as well. I wouldn't want to limit the archetype, but we know we need a big man. So yeah, all that is to say that basically they're going to try to get the best big they can get. The question is, do you do it via trade? Do you do that? Do you try to find a way to sign a guy because you really don't have a lot of flexibility? And the latest on LeBron James about taking a pay cut, and this is from the Athletic, it's if LeBron returns to the Lakers, league sources say he's not expected to consider the kind of pay cut that was in play around this time a year ago. Last summer, James took a discount of approximately $2.7 million to help the Lakers stay under the second apron and maintain roster flexibility. So, look, I mean, if he opts in, that's going to alter their roster. I mean, you look at the Lakers, and he's going to do that. He's making $54 million. That cuts their championship odds big time. They need a full MLE. So I think LeBron, I mean, you made over $1 billion. You have won 4 championships. You're 4-6 in the finals. You've gone 2-12 in your last 14 playoff games. I mean, you have to kind of decide, are you going to go the Tom Brady route and try to bolster the roster around you as much as possible, or are you just going to try to get paid and go on this farewell tour where it's going and looking at jumbotrons all around the league and getting your flowers the way that we've seen from great players? So that's a decision that he's going to have to make. And I'm going to bring my man J-Rob right here. When you think of where LeBron's at right now in his career, and we hear about the injury today, we hear he's probably going to opt in, not take a pay cut, which, look, I mean, he's willing to do a lot of things, I think, off-season workouts, $1 million in his body, try to put himself in the best position to win a championship. But I do question, like, if that's the best move for himself to finish his career the way he wants to, and that is with the championship.
Yeah, honestly, I also felt like Rob Pelinka in his closing press conference after they got eliminated, he seems like he's gung-ho on getting LeBron ring number 5 as well. D-Mac, I do think LeBron should consider taking a bit of a pay cut, though. I understand that, like, maybe he feels like if you're not better than me, why am I, even at 40, why am I taking less money? I think it'll be important for them this year to really maximize that roster. And, you talked about it. You might not have an Austin Reeves next year. You might be trying to go get that third star level player. But, that mid-level exception with the NBA salary is a bit wonky. And so if he's commanding so much of the cap, you kind of will have yourself back in that same rock and a hard place that you've been. I do hope LeBron does consider putting some money on the table to go get some of the things he needs. Because, let's be honest, if you want that center that's an upgrade from Jackson Hayes and Alex Len and Maxi Kleber, you're going to have to spend some money. So I do feel like LeBron is going to have a legitimate look in the mirror about what do I want to do financially with this organization.
And it's probably just because it's a loss and it's fresh. I don't get the sense he loves playing with Luka. I don't know why. What
makes you feel that way?
It just, one, they lost in the first round, and he probably said, okay, I was gifted Luka Doncic, and then he brings up AD in his press conference. Why else would you bring up AD?
Yeah.
And the fact that, AD said he wanted a center, that he was traded. I'm not saying that he's not on board, but I don't think that it's Kyrie, AD. And look, I think that, everyone out there is trying to clown LeBron because he is 2-12 in his last 14 playoff games. And his success in the Western Conference wasn't anywhere near it was in the East. But I will also mention this, is that we are judging LeBron James, 40-year-old LeBron James, like it's prime LeBron James. He should not get prime LeBron James level of expectations of the playoffs. But then that also, I think, is where the Lakers have they're in a tough spot. They really, really are. I just do not think, this is nothing against LeBron. I truly think he is in the conversation right there with Michael Jordan as the best player ever. Right. But that also doesn't change. I feel like you can say I don't think that LeBron, LeBron would not have played tonight. Right. LeBron would have not, if LeBron would have probably missed the next series. Right. And that's because of his advanced age. Just imagine how that's going to play in the length of a full playoff series where you got to go 4 rounds. I just don't think that you can win an NBA title in 2025 and 2026 with LeBron James as your second player, just because of the minutes and the toll it takes on your body. It's no slight to him. And then you add the fact that even if you do win a championship, do you get the same credit as winning a championship when you're winning a championship as your team's second best player?
I think it depends on who wins the finals MVP for
it's
sure.
More complicated. I agree with that.
Definitely more complicated there. I really do love that point you made, though, because one thing I was thinking about for the Lakers next season, and this is why I do want LeBron to leave some money on the table for other players on the roster. D-Mac, they need to put LeBron on a bit of that Kawhi load management schedule next year. Because honestly, Kawhi Leonard, regardless, I don't think he played. I think he's had moments so far in the playoffs. I don't feel like he's been 25-point a game, 30-point a game Kawhi every night. But he's had some legitimate moments against the Nuggets so far in this series. But I think a lot of that, as much as people like to judge, it's attributed to him being able to rest throughout the season, being able to get healthy for the postseason. And for LeBron, like you said, his body's not going to recover the same. He banged knees and sprained his MCL. 26-year-old LeBron is knocking Dante DiVincenzo over and just getting on with the basketball game. You know what I'm saying? So I do think that they need to really consider, load managing LeBron significantly next season, because his impact really is more felt in the postseason, and that's when it's going to matter most for them as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think that should absolutely be a plan for LeBron. And early on this season, just for them to win the games they did with Anthony Davis and LeBron, it was because LeBron and AD were mostly healthy for most of those games. So, yeah, I totally agree that you have to factor that in whoever you do bring in. And I think that Austin Reeves made sense because of his age. But they need a star that's actually better, that is in that same age group, that can put a team on their back. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with LeBron. I think that the early takeaways are he's not taking any less money. He's not retiring. Yeah. I think anyone could have told you that. You think LeBron's not going to come back for year 23? You think LeBron's going to come back without getting his flowers? No. Okay, that is not happening. He's going to come back. So we'll see what happens. And it's just the standard procedure with LeBron. Right. It's kind of like you throw it on the front office, kind of give yourself a little out. And now there's a report that, he was injured. So, it's just, it kind of comes with the territory. There's always drama, man. There's always things to talk about with LeBron, but it'll be another LeBron summer. But switching gears to the New York Knicks, man. I hope this team wins it all. I want to see Knicks Wolves. I want to see Knicks Wolves in the NBA Finals. But Jalen Brunson, man, this is Mr. Kill Shot. Like, I really do think when it comes to current NBA players, dudes that just have a knack for the kill shot, it's this dude. He had Thompson leaning. He give Thompson a map. Like, he didn't know where he was. And Brunson, I mean, he hit this big time kill shot at the end. Let's take a look.
Kicking in defensively, 8 seconds. Brunson stops on a dime, launches.
I love the follow through when you're like walking in.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're like holding up. And then the kiss. This Knicks team has something, man. They got vibes. These guys love each other. Like, compare this team to the Lakers. Like, this is the team when you go with your coworkers, you kick it at work, but then you go have a beer after.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Lakers ain't doing that. Like, do the Lakers even have a group chat? You know what I'm saying? Like,
they got a Telegram.
Right? Exactly. Like, that's probably where they're at. These dudes are in it as a group.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they ride for Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Like Thibodeau ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Not.
I think they ride for him.
Yeah.
And I think that they're willing to be coached hard by him.
Mm-hmm.
And you got that Villanova kind of hard edge thing. And I think Cat has kind of gotten better with that too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's a Kentucky guy. But yeah, I mean, hey, what was your reaction? So, you know, full disclosure, our man J-Rob, he's from the East Coast.
Love the Knicks.
He's a Knicks dude.
Yes.
I was hollering for that one. I was happy about that.
Yeah, honestly, I loved it. I was honestly panicking. I feel like as a Knicks fan, like we're kind of like Cowboys fans where like we get a little overzealous sometimes. Then when things start to go bad, we kind of like always plummet to the worst case scenario. Once the Pistons started coming back, I got extremely worried. But I mean, listen, Jalen Brunson, this team, the identity, everything, it all clicks. Thibodeau is a New York City head coach for that type of area. I mean, the way this team plays, the grittiness of Michael, OG, and Jalen. And I agree. I think Bodega Cat is finally starting to come along. But Jalen Brunson has been an absolute engine. I know that the Knicks did not do great against winning teams in the East in the regular season, but they're buzzing right now. I think this war of attrition that they just went through in the playoffs against the Pistons has them ready to go against Boston. I think Boston really will have a run for their money because regardless of what happened in the regular season, matchup-wise, the Knicks are as good of a matchup for the Boston Celtics. You got two big wings. You have centers. You have an offensive engine in Jalen Brunson. You have the pieces you need to go toe-to-toe with the Boston Celtics. And honestly, if they can get over the mental battle of losing against them in the regular season, 0-0 clean slate, I mean, I love this team, D-Mac. I have them going all the way out of the East at this point. I'm locked and loaded. I'm going to ride with the guys until the wheels fall off.
Boston's tough, but we got a dog like Brunson. I mean,
Mr. Kill Shot. I love when you call him
he's
that.
a kill shot. I mean, to cross a dude that just stripped the ball from you.
Yeah.
And then he like had him teleported to another arena, another zip code, and just hit that game when it was nice. But then there was still time on the clock.
Yep.
They still had about like 4.6 seconds, something like that. And then this is a moment where you look, okay, you're at home, you're down a triple. You can try to tie this thing up, send it into overtime. But that is where Malik Beasley, who had been red hot, I think he did 6 threes in the first half. The dude was just red hot. And it goes right through his hands. Butter fingers Beasley. And here was him talking about it after the game.
It's been us against the world, our team. And so for us to stay together, for us to build on it, I think obviously the pain hurts. You know, AT was pissed that, you know, he is the best defender in the world, and he should have felt like he got to stop on that last possession. I'm the best shooter in the world. I feel like I should have got on the best in the last possession. So with that being said, like, you can't dwell on it too much. You gotta get ready for the next season. It's my favorite part of the season, the off season. It's where I get better, and you just gotta stay in tune with the guys and continue to get better this whole summer.
Yeah, no, your favorite part of the season is the off season. Yeah, it's clearly not the playoffs, man. It clearly isn't the postseason. The fourth quarter, 0 points, over 2, just lights too bright, butterfingers. I mean, that's just like, yeah, you can't dwell on it. Maybe you can't dwell on it, but your fans will. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that was not a good moment. Then the Clippers, they win yesterday. The Clippers, They force Game 7, Norman Powell, James Harden. There you go. J-Rod, appreciate you putting Norman Powell on there. Appreciate you on that one, my guy. Yeah, because he was great last night. I mean, Norman Powell hitting corner threes, showing those boosties, showing the bunnies get up and dunking on dudes. And hey, this has been a great series. The Clippers win 111-105. Norman Powell, really the player of the game, and he was outstanding. 24 points. Yet Harden was hot in the first half. You got good contributions from Kawhi and Zubac. So yeah, I mean, that's going to be a hell of a Game 7. Then let's switch to this. This is every team's GOAT. So this is every team's GOAT.
I love when we get these.
Let's go by player. Let's see who we got here. So every team's GOAT, starting with the Atlanta Hawks. Dominique Wilkins for the Hawks.
Yep. Celtics,
Bill Russell, 11 championships. And you talk about what the Celtics did with Russell. The Nets with Julius Erving. Of course, that was they changed jerseys a couple times in Brooklyn Nets. Then the Hornets have Kemba Walker. That's interesting. You got Larry Johnson. You get Muggsy Bogues, Kemba Walker. If that's your best player as a franchise, that's why you've never won a championship. The Bulls, Michael Jordan. I heard he's pretty good. Cavs, LeBron James. Mavs, Dirk Nowitzki. Nuggets, Nikola Jokic. Pistons, Isaiah Thomas. Warriors, Steph Curry. Rockets, Hakeem Olajuwon. Pacers, Reggie Miller. Clippers, Chris Paul. Which, yeah, say Chris Paul. Chris Paul, I mean, they have Blake Griffin. I mean, I just think that no one's been there long enough and good enough to kind of be that. The Lakers, Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant's my favorite athlete of all time. I wouldn't be talking to you right now if it weren't for the existence of Kobe being Bryant. Having said that, Magic Johnson is the best Lakers player of all time.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Magic Johnson, a 3-time MVP, 5 championships, the best point guard ever. And Magic has said that it's Kobe, and he's very humble in that. And Kobe has the longevity. I still think Magic is the best player of all time. I think you can make the case that Kobe and Kareem are kind of right there at battling for second, but still, I just disagree with that one. Then the Grizzlies, Marcus Saul for the Grizzlies.
Interesting.
It's another one where it's like, hey, I mean, you had Powell,
Zach Randolph,
Zebo. You got Ja Morant, who we'll see if he even finishes there.
Right.
The Heats have slam dunked Dwayne Wade. You got to give Dwayne Wade that. The Bucks, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Kareem requested the trade.
Yeah.
Timberwolves, Kevin Garnett. And then the Pelicans, also Chris Paul, which is
what?
I mean who would it be though? Brandon Ingram?
It makes sense. No, it
Zion.
makes sense.
It just, like I said, this is more embarrassing for the Pelicans than it is anything else. The Knicks with Patrick Ewing. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm fine with that.
Patrick Ewing, you wish you had won a championship.
It's going to be Jalen Brunson soon, though. I think Patrick Ewing's time with that title is going to come up soon, very soon.
Patrick Ewing was really good for a really long time.
No, I agree.
Did you ever hear of Bill Simmons' Ewing theory though?
Of him being the number 1 pick?
Well, not that. So it's called, so his thing about the Ewing theory was that, like, he used it for a lot of different teams, is if a player, if a team's star player's out, sometimes you'll see teams play better.
Right.
And that would happen for the Knicks a lot for some reason. Like when Ewing would be out, the Knicks would kind of go on a tear. So he calls the Ewing theory. But yeah, I mean, he has an All-NBA first team, 6 All-NBA second teams. So let's see, like Jalen Brunson, what would he have to do? I mean, the postseason success is everything. He gets to the finals and wins the finals.
You win the finals, it's over, bro.
But Patrick Ewing lost to Hakeem in his prime. So that's not Jalen Brunson is going to have a lot of work to do. He has 1 All-NBA second team on his resume. So I think it's going to take a while to pass Ewing. But if you have playoff success and you win a championship, that would trump all of that.
Accelerates the process.
Ask Walt Clyde Frazier. Then Oklahoma City, they have Russell Westbrook. And I still think that Kevin Durant at his peak was better than Russell Westbrook at his peak, especially in his time with the Thunder. But Russ was there for longer. He had the triple-double season. The Magic with Dwight Howard, I disagree with this one. I think Prime Shaq, even though, I mean, kind of pre-Prime Shaq, I still think was better than Dwight Howard, even though Dwight Howard is a surefire Hall of Famer. 76ers having Allen Iverson. I love that. This one I couldn't disagree with anymore. The Phoenix Suns and Steve Nash. This is absolute BS. This is actually the worst one on the list. Charles Barkley is by far the best player in Phoenix Suns history. I mean, he was the only guy that was even in the convo with Michael Jordan when he was at his prime. the Trailblazers, Damian Lillard, the Kings, Oscar Robertson.
Well, D-Mac, real quick, I think, when you talk about Steve Nash and when you talk about Dwight Howard, they both led their teams to championships versus Charles Barkley. He didn't lead his team to a chip. So I know Steve Nash didn't actually. Steve Nash, did he get to the finals?
No, well, that's the thing.
No, yeah.
And Dwight, come on, man. Like, do you?
I'm just saying.
That's like a T-Mac finals. I mean, when you think about it.
Yeah.
Maybe a step above that. And Charles Barkley lost to MJ in the best version of MJ.
Yeah. I agree. I think Charles Barkley is the best Phoenix Sun of all time. I understand Steve Nash got the MVPs, but I think you hit it on the nose. Like, Barkley, literally the only reason Barkley don't have no rings because Michael Jordan existed.
Exactly. Like, go back and look at old highlights of Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
He was a top 5 player for at least 8 to 10 years. Like, he was ferocious. This kind of makes you laugh almost. The Toronto Raptors having Kyle Lowry as their best player in franchise history is kind of funny to me. I still think you got to say Vince Carter. What do you think?
Man, I'm going Kawhi Leonard. Every
Kawhi
time.
Leonard for 1 year?
Yeah, that mercenary year is to me more than enough. Like, I would give Kawhi a statue in Toronto. I mean, he brought them a championship. They beat the Warriors. Like, that mercenary year in Toronto. Like, if you ask me who's the best Toronto Raptor of all time, I'm always going to say Kawhi Leonard. And that's no disrespect to Larry or DeMar DeRozan or Vince Carter. But he literally put that team on his back and led them to a championship.
It was the best league of all time.
Yeah, it was like...
Yeah, that's fine. I'm cool with that. Championship does trump all, so I'm cool with that. Karl Malone for the Jazz and John Wall for the Washington Wizards. So John Wall, the Dougie was great on his opening night, and he had his ups and downs. He just was plagued by injuries. He was explosive. Karl Malone for sure is the best Jazz, but yeah, pretty solid list for sure. But the Barkley one really pisses me off. I really, I just can't get over that one. Steve Nash, those were Kobe's MVPs, man. Those were Kobe's MVPs. I think that's kind of what it's really about. But that is going to do it for this episode of The Big Lead. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell, drop a comment. I like how Craig Osenberg talking about Brunson made a Jordan type move. Yeah, very Jordan versus Byron Russell 98. But guys, comment Luka Magic so you're eligible to win the new jersey. Do that and join us a little later for Dodgers Dugout Live. But that's going to do it, guys. And until next time, I'm out. Right.